Hello, my name is Chris Holt. This is my Module 16 for EDL 850, Internet Use Violations, Threats over the Web. What do I know? I know that Roosevelt High School is located in a large city in an affluent area. Dr. Steve Forbes is the principal. He's very well respected. He's been there for 9 years. Teachers like him, parents like him. He was awarded a Principal of the Year award. He hires good teachers, one of which is Miss Walker. She's a science teacher. She's in her second year. She's very well educated. But in her first year, she had some complaints about the high expectations in her class. Students were concerned that they would not do well. They were stressed out. Dr. Forbes discussed some stress-reducing techniques with Miss Walker, but she did not implement them. I know that in November of Miss Walker's second year, she received an unidentified email directing her to a website. The website contained highly suggestive comments about her personal behavior and was critical of the difficulty of her classes. It also contained a statement, who wants Miss Walker to disappear. Miss Walker is very upset, believes that it was a death threat. She called to inform Dr. Forbes about the email on the website. Dr. Forbes viewed it, read over it, called her back, suggested that it was probably just a prank. He asked her if she thought she knew who was responsible. Miss Walker thought about it, named a student based on her gut. The kid didn't like her, named Randy Franks. So Dr. Forbes suggested that they meet in the morning, do some investigation, speak to students about it. What do we need to know? We don't know how many students she has. Was Randy one of 5 students? Was he one of 105 students? We don't really know. We don't know who wrote the email or created the website. We don't know if it was a student, parent, staff member, or a group, or a mixture of all of the above. And what was the intention behind creating the email? Was it a prank? Was it meant to scare her? Or was it truly malicious? So identifying the problem. Multiple problems exist. The first is the email on the website. What was its purpose? Who was behind it? What can be done about it? Next, I believe Dr. Forbes' reaction to the information. Did he take it seriously? If something happened to Miss Walker, would he be liable for negligence for not taking it seriously, suggesting it was a prank? Next, Miss Walker suggesting it was a student based on her feelings is not very ethical or equitable in this situation. So what would be my plan of action? If I were Dr. Forbes, I would have a multifaceted approach. I'd contact my superintendent first to get his input, make sure he's aware of the situation. If we agreed it was necessary, I'd get law enforcement involved. Next, with the superintendent's permission, I would talk to Miss Walker, let her know we'd like her to go on paid leave for her own safety. I would suggest that the way she felt was appropriate and that she should maybe stay home for a few days to see how the investigation progresses, and I would be sure to keep her in the loop on that. Next, when I got to school the following day, I'd have a staff meeting and give them the information they need, and only the information they need. I would remind them of our policies regarding confidentiality, but I would also have them make notes about any conversations that are being had about the situation. Kids talk, it's what they do. Teachers listen. So if that happens, they need to document that. After that, I'd meet with our IT department and potentially law enforcement if they're involved to see if we can ascertain the location of where the website and email came from, see if we can find the person or persons responsible. And finally, after that, I would hold an all-school assembly with students and staff. We'd go over policies and procedures in place regarding technology and technology safety. I would give the group the basic information they need about the situation, and hoping that some students would come forward that had information. I'd make it known that if an amicable solution cannot be found, that law enforcement could potentially be involved, and potential charges could be brought either of libel or criminal threat. Strategies used to implement my plan would include the IT department and law enforcement successfully identifying people that were responsible. Staff and student discussions. I would be sure and follow up on any tips or information from sources that come forward, investigate all of them seriously. And then finally, I would apply appropriate punishment depending on the findings of the investigation, up to and including legal action. Once the people responsible were discovered, depending on their intentions, a resolution to the situation needs to be agreed upon. If it was supposed to be a prank, as Dr. Forbes believed, at a minimum, I believe the school discipline plan should be followed, and potentially a formal apology to Ms. Walker would be appropriate as well. Resolutions. What is best for students? Resolving this situation is best for all students, not to single out someone based on a thought. Without evidence, I would not question Randy Franks. I don't believe that would be appropriate or ethical. I believe that I need to take threats or potential threats seriously. That's what's best in order to keep all students and staff safe. It is also best to resolve situations like this quickly and confidentially to promote the academic success and well-being of everyone involved. Data, only questioning students when you have evidence, the more solid than a feeling from Ms. Walker. That makes things equitable and ethical for all students. Treating all threats as serious can establish a precedent that will show stakeholders that the school is serious about the safety of all students and staff involved. And then getting Ms. Walker back into the classroom quickly gives students access to a highly qualified teacher and not just having a substitute in their classroom. Category 4 debriefing. What was I thinking? While reading through this case study, I was thinking about how scared the teacher was that she had to go back to her parents' house. She must have really been shaken by it. I was thinking about the negative attention that a criminal case could bring to stakeholders of the school. I was thinking about laws and what charges could be possible in regards to this situation. I was also thinking about the administration and IT department in my own building and how would we handle a situation like this as an administrative team. What would be our course of action? What was I feeling? I felt sorry for the teacher for being a victim of either an awful prank or potentially worse. I felt partially responsible when I put myself in the administrator's shoes for not being more proactive with Miss Walker and the struggle she was having in her class the first year. And I also found myself feeling bad for Randy Franks, a student that Miss Walker accused of being responsible based on a feeling that he didn't like her and that he had computer skills to accomplish this. I just felt like he was being singled out without proper evidence. I was valuing all students in their education. I was valuing being a supportive administrator, wanting to take situations like this seriously, valuing my responsibilities to all stakeholders involved in the district, parents, students, faculty, staff, other administrators. And finally, I was valuing the law and following the board policies and procedures when dealing with potential threats. I feel like if you don't follow your policies, procedures, and the law, then we're not valuing what we need to be. Unresolved issues. There's potential damage to the school's reputation from this. As an administrator, I would have to repair that damage, do some public relations to help that. Ms. Walker's feelings about her personal safety are unresolved, potentially. She may need to find some professional help. Ms. Walker's classroom issues and her unwillingness to try and change when talked to the first time could be an unresolved issue. We may have to get a potential plan of improvement for her, give her some more support, educate her a little more. There's no guarantee the investigation reveals a positive result. Potential that it could not be resolved. And then Dr. Forbes' assumption that the whole thing was a prank immediately, that could lead to more issues, like his staff not trusting his judgment or not feeling like he supports them or takes things seriously. Category 5, Standard 5. I believe I promoted the academic success of every student by the following. I maintained confidentiality and acted quickly to resolve the problem so all students could get back to learning. I believe a quick resolution allows Ms. Walker back to her class, which returns a highly qualified teacher to the classroom. I also treated the incident seriously and established a precedent that promotes safety to all students and staff in my building. Treating people fairly and equitably. I adhered to ethical principles and professional norms by doing the following. I didn't question Randy Franks based on no real evidence, just a feeling. I don't believe I would do that. I followed district and board procedures and informed necessary parties of the situation, and I maintained the confidentiality of all stakeholders involved to the greatest extent possible. Obviously, if someone needs to know something that law enforcement or someone like that, then I would have to share that information. But maintaining confidentiality was important. And then I demonstrated a personal and professional code of ethics by doing the following. I showed Ms. Walker that I took her concerns seriously, developed a plan to resolve the issue. I involved my supervisor and law enforcement in the situation if necessary, and I maintained confidentiality and reminded my staff to do the same as professionals. That is the end of my presentation. Thanks for watching.